What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. We have Erislandy Lara in the news, possibly, well, or it looks to be fighting, looks likely to be fighting Danny Garcia for the WBA championship title at middleweight, the middleweight division. All right, now, you know, of course, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna read y'all the the news or whatnot, but I definitely want to put my opinion on this. But first, let me go ahead and drop the knowledge. Let me read. You guys make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. So, shout out to BoxingScene.com. Y'all know that it's my favorite to go-to source, and you know how I do it, so let's do it. All right. Erislandy Lara, Danny Garcia title fight approved by the WBA. Winner is to face Michael Zafara. Okay, if I'm not, who did Michael Zafara fight and lose? I think he lost to Peter Quillen. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Peter Quillen. But anyways, it says, Erislandy Lara got the fight that he and his team wanted in the end. BoxingScene.com has confirmed that the WBA has approved requests for Lara to move forward with the voluntary title defense versus former two-division titleist Danny Garcia. The ruling comes in lieu of previously ordered mandatory title defense versus Australia's Michael Zafara, who will land the winner of the summertime title fight, which is due to take place August 5th. The company TGB Promotions sent the request to the entity, which was studied in depth and determined the most appropriate decision. WBA Championship Committee Chairman Carlos Chavez confirmed in a letter to all parties. Team Zafara was consulted, and after arduous negotiations, it's been possible to reach an agreement between both parties. According to the WBA rules, section C16, it states that the body may modify the periods of mandatory defenses for a good cause, either in response to a request for a special permit on its own initiative. On the other hand, Rule C46A states that the WBA may modify or suspend the strict application of these rules when the WBA deems it justified in its sole discretion to accommodate special circumstances. So basically, they're saying that basically they can make their own damn rules up. Basically, in other words, that's what they're saying. They can switch up their rules during certain situations if it's beneficial to them. I'm gonna just cut it. I'm gonna just go ahead and just I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. If it's, as long as it's beneficial to them, they can cut the rules and kind of basically manipulate things how they want. Okay, so that's that. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that all out. But anyways, the rules also state that the agency may require conditions for granting permit. In this case, the committee decided to grant the request to the Lara team as long as they comply with all championship rules. The location was not specified for the event, though likely destination is Barclays Centers in Brooklyn, New York. As previously reported, Boxing Scene, earlier talks suggested that the bout could take place at a catch weight between the junior middleweight and the full middleweight limit. And for y'all that don't know, the junior middleweight division is at 154. Anything above that, in between 155 and 160, is considered middleweight, for y'all that don't know. So they're talking about doing a catch weight. I know Danny Garcia was talking about making the fight at 155. I don't know what Lara's a former 154 champion, so I don't know. I don't know how he feels. So it looks like the only thing that's to negotiate right now is what the catch weight that they'll be making or whatnot. But it says Boxing Scene has learned that Zafara will be featured on the undercard as part of the agreement reached between involved parties. In the case of Zafara, he may make an optional fight against a body-approved contender while waiting for a world title shot in his mandatory challenger position, confirmed Chavez. So Zafara will likely be fighting on the undercard and get the winner and get a chance at the winner of Lara and Danny Garcia. Lara's last fight took place in that very venue last May, when he scored a one-sided 8th round stoppage against spectacularly mustachioed but marginally talented Irish middleweight Gary Spike O'Sullivan. The win represents the long successful defense WBA regular title he claimed in May. the first round knockout of South Jersey's box. Okay, so that's really irrelevant. Lara was first ordered to fight by the WBA to fight Zafar on March 14th. Both sides were given 30 days to reach each term. The fight came into play immediately after Triple G relinquished his WBA title, as he no longer saw value in proceeding with the title consolidation bout versus Lara, the mandatory title fight versus Zafar. Mentioning, so basically that just, you know, going, all right, man, forget it. Let me go ahead and just speak my piece at it now. Now, this is an interesting matchup, I must say. But before I get on these two fighters, I have to say, man, I wonder what's really going on with Triple G. Where is Triple G, man? Like, he relinquished all his belts. I mean, this was the second time they ordered, or this actually was the second time he turned down a fight against Erislandy Lara, and I don't know what's going on with Triple G, but I'm gonna definitely be on the lookout for Triple G, and when I find some news, I'm definitely gonna bring it to you guys, all right? But going back on this fight, man, this is an interesting fight right now. I mean, first and foremost, man, both fighters are kind of at the end of their career, especially Lara, bro. Lara was actually considered a boogeyman at 154, seeing how at one point nobody really wanted to fight him. I know he was going back and forth with Demetrius Andrade. They had their back and forth, because he beat Andrade in the amateurs, but nothing came out of that. And it just kind of seemed like nobody really wants to get in the ring with Lara. I mean, he did call out Canelo, and he did get that fight. A lot of people thought that fight could have went to Lara's way. A lot of people thought that it went Canelo's way. Regardless, we got the fight or whatnot. Now, honestly, Lara, being a Cuban southpaw, very slick. As of here lately, he has not been using his legs the way he used to, okay? Now, Lara used to be one to move around the ring and pot shot you, because that left hand was very strong and very just slick. Now, that's obviously, I feel like that's the reason why Danny Garcia is going after Lara, because a prime Lara, I know for a fact Danny Garcia would not go nowhere near. Not because it's any fear for Lara's power or anything, because Danny Garcia definitely has one of the best chins in boxing today. So I don't think that Danny Garcia was fearing him as far as that, but that style that Lara had in his prime would have made Danny Garcia look foolish for 12 rounds straight. And so I feel like Danny Garcia feels like this is the right time for him to be going after Erislandy Lara, which is why he's now pressing for that fight. All right, you got Danny Garcia, who definitely has he has an underrated legacy to me, man. He did very, very well at 140, a unified champion. He did decent at 147, and we only seen him once at 154, and that was against Jose Benavidez Jr., okay? Nothing really spectacular in that performance, by the way. So I don't necessarily know, you know, Danny Garcia's been in there with great guys, you know, hard hitters like Lucas Matisse, back when Lucas Matisse didn't want to fight, or nobody wanted to fight Lucas Matisse. Amir Khan, when he was the underdog, you know, Eric Morales, obviously, faded Eric Morales, but he was a champion. You know, he's been in there with the likes of Zab Judah, Lamont Peterson, he's been in there with Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, you know, Paulie Malignaggi, you know. Danny Garcia just has been in there with them all, you know, everybody except for Terrence Crawford, you know, and that's not saying he ducked Terrence Crawford or anything. I'm just saying, like, the only big name he hasn't been in there with is Terrence Crawford, right? But you know, he has he's had a pretty good, well, he's had a very good career. I'm gonna say that. And he's always stated that he wants to be a 3-division world champion. Well, and this is the situation where he can be. Since Triple G relinquished his titles, that now elevated Erislandy Lara to become the Super WBA champion, which now means that he no longer holds the great value belt. He actually holds the real belt. And so now that makes this fight interesting. I know Danny Garcia was talking about it being at a catchweight at 155. I don't know if Erislandy Lara will be okay with that. Maybe not. But obviously, these guys are going to have to come into negotiations and at least work out some type of deal of what weight. I would prefer Danny Garcia to move up to 160. I'm not really a big fan of catch weights, if I'm being honest. I'm just not, because it gives a fighter an excuse. The fighter that loses, it gives them an excuse, you know. So I'm not really a big fan of catch weights or whatever. I'd prefer it to be at a sanctioned weight. But you know, it is what it is. I'm still going to be interested in this fight. They're looking to take place in August of this year. So let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in the fight? Who do you see winning? Like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?